Hey guys, the Dude's Corner here. Today I'm going to be unboxing the YJ Mini Cube lineup. These cubes came out relatively recently from when I'm filming this video. I've really not seen anything about these puzzles published yet, so maybe there'll be more about them released when I release this video. But either way, I'm unboxing these mainly because I feel like you guys would enjoy this unboxing, and because there's not a lot of unboxings out there of these. So I'm very excited to try these out. I know that the 4x4 feels very, very good as main potential, so I feel like I'm going to actually unbox this a little bit differently than how I normally would. I'm going to go 3x3, 5x5, and 4x4, which I know is an odd pattern, but because I feel like the 4x4 I should hype up the most, so I kind of want to do this one for last, as silly as it sounds. It's an odd way of doing it, but oh well. I feel like I kind of want to do it this way. So here is the 3x3. Let's go ahead and open it up. These cubes are mainly popular, mainly just because of their size. This 3x3 is 50 millimeters, the 4x4 is 56 millimeters, and I think the 5x5 is 58. I could be wrong on that, but they are rather small. Okay, there is the 3x3. Wow, that is small. Let me get this accessory box out. Let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, am I gonna get another YJ screwdriver? Whoa, my mouse just went off. Okay, so it looks like I got the YJ cube stand. I actually have one of these already, so it'll be cool to have another. Pamphlet. And hey, what do you know? A good old another YJ screwdriver, because I really needed another one. This cube stand is very weird to put together, as cool as it is, but I'm gonna just leave this for now. But yeah. And now the cube. The prize of the unboxing. Wow, this thing is small. I feel like this cube would be really good for one-handed just because of the size of it. Because smaller cubes are better for one-handed. But 50 millimeters, that even still is pretty small. Shades are pretty good. It is actually not the MGC lineup of shades, which is kind of surprising in my opinion, because those are both by YJ. But they still do look pretty good. The plastic is kind of frosted and glossy, but not overly glossy. It is not soft plastic, it is kind of rough, and the shades do look pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some first turns and see how this is. Okay, I will admit this is a little difficult to turn for its size. It is a little bit rough, but the plastic, I gotta say, this plastic is really nice to turn on. I think I corner twist. Yeah, I did. That's not a good sign. So it doesn't corner twist easily here, but like when you're at 45, it does. Interesting. The cube itself is kind of dry. I feel like with some good setup, it would be good. Because this is relatively loose, but like it still is rough on the plastic. But it does feel really nice. I'm not good at one-handed, but I want to kind of see how this holds up. And yes, I do solve with my right hand. Reasons for this I'll explain in a future video. But yeah, it is pretty nice to say the least. Yeah, I think this cube, it does have a lot of potential, probably for one-handed, if anything. If you have smaller hands, I'd say this is a good cube because it's smaller. I actually have bigger hands. This cube is just tiny compared to my big hands. So I probably will not be doing a lot of solves on this just because of the fact how small it is. But I think this is also a good cube for like transportation. Like if you want to bring it to somewhere, it's easy to carry with you. And it's faster than like one of those keychain cubes. So very cool puzzle to say the least. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side because I've already been recording for quite a while now, and I kind of want to go ahead and go on with the next puzzles. So let's go ahead and do the 5x5. This cube is going to feel really weird because my current main is the MGC, which is also by YJ. Everyone mains the MGC 5x5. And yeah, feeling how small this will be is going to be really weird to say the least. And we have some more accessories. Okay, so we got another YJ Another YJ Cube stand. These are the parts. I know you can't really see it that well, but I'm gonna go ahead and set that off to the side. And another screwdriver. We really needed another YJ screwdriver. And a pamphlet. I know you guys can't see it on camera, but it's just a pamphlet, and that's everything. All right, now let me go ahead and okay, I'm not gonna say that. Not gonna say it again. Let's open up this 5x5 as I'm pretty excited for it. Wow, this cube is tiny, but it feels really nice. Plastic and colors are the same on the 3x3. I mean, like, just look at the size of these. Like, these are tiny. I really wanted a mini 5x5. I was thinking about getting this Shengshou mini 5x5 just because of its size, until I found out that that was terrible and this one was good. So guess what? I'm getting this one. So let's go ahead and do some first turns on this. Hold up. What in the... This is actually really good. How is this so good? Okay, I'm like serious. This is like main potential. It has such a loose feeling. It's more loose than the MGC. It doesn't feel like it's gonna pop. And I mean, the size is something I'd have to get used to, but wow, this is actually a good cube. What? This may actually become my main 5x5. I would be kind of surprised if this tops the MGC, but like, I feel like I can get the same times solves on the MGC as on this mini 5x5. This feels really good. I want to do Lucas parody on this real quick. Did I just mess up? Oh, come on. Ah. Well, I'll fix this later, but why do I always mess up my parodies whenever I try doing it on my cubes? Well, that's okay. We'll set this off to the side. I feel like this has some really good potential. I'll let you guys know if this comes to my main or not at some point, but that is actually a really, really good cube. All right, let's go ahead and set this off, and let's go ahead and do the 4x4. This is the one I'm most hyped for, and if this is amazing and people say that 4x4 is better, I'm really curious to see how this one holds up. Okay, here's the accessory box. Let me guess, another YJ Cube stand. Yep. Another pamphlet, no surprise. And look, another YJ screwdriver. Because you know, I really need 3 more screwdrivers. Yeah, that's fine. At least not supplying as many as Moyu does. Okay, we'll set that off to the side, and let's go ahead and open up this 4x4. Okay, here is the puzzle. This actually feels not that bad. The pieces are a bit bigger than the 5x5, so that's kind of nice. Otherwise, this cube would be really small. Shades and plastic are still the same, no surprise. And let's go ahead and do some first turns. Okay, okay. This has some potential. I really feel like I'm turning a 3x3 right now just because of how small this cube is. Like, this is 56 millimeters. That's the size of a 3x3. It's breaking in as I turn it, so that's kind of a nice thing. I just gotta kind of keep breaking in. Wow, this actually has some really good potential. Its size is something I would have to get used to, but I don't know. I feel like these 4x4, this 4x4 and 5x5 are actually pretty underrated for how cheap they are and how good they are at the same time. Yeah, they're small, but they're still actually pretty good. The 3x3 itself is good. I feel like it could be really good for one-handed, but that's about it. I can't see this being my 3x3 main just because of how small it is. And I have big hands, and the fact that I'm saying these are good, and I'm definitely going to be considering whether or not these will be my mains, it's kind of surprising because my hands are huge, and these are actually really, really good puzzles. So, yeah, I'll let you guys know whether or not these come my mains, but they're very good puzzles to say the least. And I would actually highly recommend getting these. Like, this is probably like literally the best lineup that you could get for their price, even though they're super small. I don't know why these puzzles are not as much talked about as they're not really highly known, because these are very good. These are very, very good puzzles. And I think that they really do compete with the MGC lineup, which is also by YJ. And the mechanism, honestly, I feel like I want to check the 4x4 mechanism here and just see how similar. Yeah, this has a really similar design in the MGC. I don't have the MGC near me, but this hook design is literally the same. So like, if you want the MGC lineup that'll feel like the same like this, that's just smaller, then go for these cubes. Like they're a lot cheaper and they're really nice. So yeah, great puzzles. I kind of want to go ahead and do some solves on these, but I'm not going to do that in the video, so I'm going to just go ahead and end the video here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button down below and hit the subscribe button, as well as those bell notifications to be notified when upcoming videos are released. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Okay, so I actually am not going to end off the video quite yet. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the bit more about these cubes. This day of me recording this is the day that I started editing this video, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit more about these cubes now that I've had them for quite a bit longer. The first thing I want to share is that this setup here is just very quick. These solves are just completely random, so they're not incredible. So they're actually not as good as my regular average solves. Now, for the 3x3, I want to start by saying I do tend to make quite a bit of mistakes on it whenever I'm solving it like an actual 3x3, and as you can see, even just on this solve right here, I already made one mistake, and that messed up my time. So this cube isn't bad, but for regular 3x3 solves for me, because I have such big hands, like I mentioned in the video, I don't really think this 3x3 is going to be for me. However, the one thing that I really do like about it is incredible for one-handed. I managed to get some really good times. I didn't record any solves of me doing it one-handed, but I definitely do feel like that for anyone, this could be one-handed main. So definitely can recommend it for that. Also, I mentioned in the video that this cube, it would feel really good with some setup. Well, I did do some pretty good setup on it, and now this cube feels absolutely amazing. So if you want a 3x3 for one-handed, I can definitely recommend this. However, if you have, unless you have don't have smaller hands, probably don't get this as 3x3 potential for main. Four by four is probably the most unique one out of all three of these. Something I did not mention in the video is the fact that it dealt with some minor catches. When I was performing Lucas parody in the video, you probably noticed that I had a lot of lockups. Well, after doing a lot of solves, those lockups didn't come as bad, but occasionally they still would come up. So that is a bit of a problem, and compared to the MGC does not deal with those small little lockups. So I don't know if this really can become my main. It is definitely very similar, the mechanism, and it feels the exact same. The only difference, in my opinion, is of course the lockups and the size. One benefit on the size of this cube is the fact that you can locate the pieces a lot better wherever they are on the puzzle. So, compared to the two, which one do I think is better and which one do I think will be my main? Well, after a lot of solves between the two, as annoying as it is, you guys are probably not going to want to hear this, I actually decided that they're considered as a tie. Both these are just as good cubes, and I really cannot determine on which one is better. So, if you wanted to get one, I probably would say go for the mini 4x4 only because it is cheaper. And if you have a little bit more money to spend, then go for the MGC. But both these puzzles are so identical that it's really hard to determine on which one is actually better. I have done probably about just as many solves on both of these already, and they're both really good. So I can recommend both of the 4x4s, but this 4x4 is really its own type, I guess you could say, but I definitely do like the size, and I think more 4x4s should have the same size. The last puzzle, of course, on the list is the 5x5. Now, I gotta say, this 5x5, it absolutely blew my mind. I thought that the 4x4 was gonna be the best out of all these, but I gotta say, this 5x5 is probably one of the best puzzles I've ever felt. The 5x5 is definitely going to become my main, and I think it is better than the MGC, and there's a few reasons why. Now, whenever you get MGC puzzles, I've talked about this before in other videos, is the fact that you generally need to tighten them up as soon as you get them, because they're pretty loose and they may pop. Well, the 5x5 feels just as loose as the out-of-the-box MGC, except you don't need to tighten it. Occasionally, yes, I do deal with pops, but it's honestly not that bad for how often I get them. The 5x5 is absolutely amazing. I love the size, and one of the benefits for its size is, like I mentioned with the 4x4, you are able to locate the pieces either without throughout the puzzle without having to turn the puzzle as far for rotations. This is very benefiting for me, and I think that this can be benefiting for a lot of others as well. If you want this 5x5, I would definitely recommend it because compared to the MGC also does still have a lot of potential, and I do think it is very, very good, but I really think YJ nailed this puzzle. I'm definitely going to be posting more about this puzzle. I've been able to bump up my times on this cube by more than 15 seconds to solve. I honestly don't know how I managed to do that, but that is absolutely insane. But if I can easily change my times from 15 seconds from the MGC 5x5 to the Mini 5x5, I think you guys can easily see why I think everyone should have this cube. Also, this is the last part, so thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, that's the end of the video. Yeah, made a mistake. Oh, I'm solving on my 4x4 session.